What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we have a brand new legendary hero in Gemstone Legends. It's BAASIM, and he has the potential to be a meta hero. So I'm going to break him down and explain why. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so for the newer players or ones who just started playing games like this, what I mean by meta is that this is a hero who has a chance of shaping the overall larger strategy of all the players in the game, in that it's actually going to impact how people play the game, because this hero has a very important special, which I'm going to get to. But let's take a look at these base stats first. So I do have this fully awakened stats on because I was like to answer the question, like, if I put all my resources into this hero, is it worth it? Now I'm going to spoil that right now. Yes, it is. For this one in particular, it is worth it. So I'm going to keep the awakening stats on. We can see with HP, that's about average, a little above average probably. So that's a good HP stat. The attack stat is a little bit lower, but that one doesn't matter. But what I do like to see is this is a pretty good defense stat. So that does mean that, you know, when you think about an average to a little above average HP and good defense, he's got some survivability. And in fact, I think you're going to want to probably build upon those stats when you're thinking about what equipment to put on. The speed stat is fine at 205. That's pretty average for a hero like this. But what does stand out is the mana gain is really good at 21. However, a full set of caster equipment is not going to make a difference here. So you can actually really focus on putting equipment on him that is going to accentuate the features that he already has, and I highly suggest that you do that. And in fact, there's some equipment out there too that are going to add extra features. So depending on what the rest of your team is like that you're building, you can add those extra features on too. I think there's a lot of flexibility with the equipment on this one. Now notice this, he's a speed leader, increases the speed of all allies in the arena by 21. That means to me, we're going to see a lot of this guy in the arena, both on offense and defense, and it's because of these specials. So Shield of Sun gains taunt for 4 turns. We know that's powerful. That's always powerful. It's hard to punch through. They have been creating some more heroes recently that do punch through that. But traditionally, it's been really hard to get through a taunt hero, and you specifically need the heroes that get through taunt to do that, and they're not easy to get. So taunt is still extremely good in the particular meta that we're in. Grants immunity to all allies for 3 turns. Might be even better than the taunt. So in Gemstone Legends, there are so many devastating statuses, especially negative statuses, and they can really just take you completely out of the game, especially when they start to stack on top of one another, and there's not a good way to just cleanse them all. Typically you're only able to cleanse a couple at a time. And so what this does is prevents you from getting them in the first place. So I think as you're thinking about what kind of equipment to put on this hero, we might really want to think about increasing the speed of the hero as one of the primary traits to increase, because I think you want this to go off before everybody else. I think you want to be able to take your turns first, grab those yellow tiles, get him to go off, and then the opponent is neutralized if they have any statuses that they're doing. Basically, they're limited at that point to doing direct damage, and in Gemstone Legends, it's really hard to win when you're relying only on direct damage. It's possible, absolutely. There's Rosalia out there, I mean, who can just punch through single opponents, and that's fine, but so many of the heroes cannot win solely on direct damage. So this is an extremely powerful ability that you want to go off as soon as you possibly can. All right, Implacable Wall. Every time an ally dies, he grants increased defense to all allies for 3 turns. Another great one for keeping your team alive. Every time an enemy dies, he grants increased attack to all allies for 3 turns. Now, I don't... if you're going to build a team around this guy, obviously he's not going to be the damage dealer. You want to have probably 2... heroes on your team that are the just big damage dealers, whether it's AoE or it's just like a single sniper type of hero, because once you kill one opponent, it starts to chain. Now when you're granting increased attack to all allies because an enemy is dying, you pretty much win at that point. You know, at that point, things start to really roll. He is immune to silence. That's great. Silence is a devastating type of effect in this game. So even if an opponent goes off first and silences everybody, well, he can still add his protective special to this. And lastly, if you level the special the whole way up, you get that mana gain increased by 1. So do take note of that. I think he's excellent. I think he's mandatory on a lot of teams. Now, he's not the only one that does these kind of effects. So this is one thing I really like about Gemstone Legends. You don't get pigeonholed into having to have one hero. There's obviously heroes that are better than other heroes. That's obvious. That's true for every game. But what I find is a shortfall of most other games is they release a totally broken hero that's so overpowered that basically you have it and you win, or you don't and you lose. That's not going to be the case here. And in fact, that's not really the case with any heroes in Gemstone Legends. So don't feel bad if you don't get BAASIM, because there are other heroes that can act like this. There is not a hero that acts exactly like this, but that's why Gemstone Legends is so good. There's a diversity of heroes, pros and cons to their specials throughout the whole game. So, I mean, you can get taunt on other heroes. There's other great taunt heroes. You can get immunity on other heroes. That's, you know, another strong one that's there. So there's ways to mix and match it. But I think he is going to be like this. I'll put it this way. The effect is mandatory. He's not mandatory. The effect is mandatory, but he's got all the good stuff in one spot. That's why I think he's going to be a meta hero. We're going to see him a lot of the top teams. I wish I had more scrolls for him. I am going to jump into the altar here and use the scrolls I do have. I just have a couple of gold scrolls and gold shards. So let's do that. Okay, so didn't get it on those two. I only have a couple here. I'm gonna have to get really lucky if I'm gonna get him. But hey, if you don't summon, you guarantee you're not going to get him. All right, we got 1 platinum scroll. Let's hope. Let's hope. All right, we got an epic hero. And it is Shia. Okay, well, hopefully you have better luck than I did. Good luck in going after this hero. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.